talk about using cancer as a force multiplier for people who have been diagnosed and treated with cancer. Now, where I'm coming from, what happens? We all have an image of our own within our own minds, that how I am, how good, how bad, how strong, how impressive. And then there's an image of mine in your mind, what you think of me. And there's some image in my mind about what you are thinking of me. So how I act, how I react, how I conduct, all this happens in line with that image. Continuously, that identity which we have created for ourselves, that is what leads to certain actions and reactions to your questions, to whatever is happening in the dialogue. And one can say that actually how we have reacted in the past leads to this image creation. But sometimes we become captives to that image. What happens? That even if I want to say something, I may hesitate to say because it is against what image I've created of myself. And that continuous burden of living to a certain image or identity leads to, I would say, miscommunication or regular misalignment. Having said that, we also know that this image is what leads to creation of heroes and villains. How we perceive somebody as a hero is the image which we have in the mind of our people. Whether you talk of Mahatma Gandhi also, if 100 people are here, 99 may agree that yes, he is a hero, but one may say no, he is a villain, or he did certain things that are not acceptable. Or you talk of Napoleon, or whosoever you talk of, big leaders, all-time. Donald Trump is the chosen president of the United States, and I am sure large majority have seen him as a villain. But a lot of people still felt that he is the hero, who is the current answer. He has the current answer to the current problems. So this thing of hero and villain is something which is very important. And sometimes a situation gets thrown at you, and you have no choice. You are challenged by that situation, and I feel that cancer is one such situation. By the time you come out of it, either you become a hero or you become a victim of cancer. However, there's a lot of situations where you have no choice, you have to face it. And so I will give you a small story of one of my patients. Her name was Nazma, and she was about 68 years old, and she had gastric cancer, advanced gastric cancer. And she was brought by her son and her daughter-in-law, and they were taking good care of her. Advanced cancer, 9 months down, one day she passed away. It happened in our ICU here only. And when we declared that, okay, she is no more, we just communicated to the family. The son had tears rolling down his eyes, and he said that, sir, मैं आपको कुछ बताना चाहता हूँ. मैंने कहा बताओ क्या हुआ. तो कहता actually she was not my mother, and I have not shared this with anybody in the hospital, but somewhere I felt this, I want to tell this story to you. I said okay. I said क्या हुआ, how you got in touch with her, what happened? And he said that I was in college, and in first year of my engineering college, and they all belong to a lower middle class family. And he said that my father had an accident, he lost his life, and he was the sole breadwinner of the family. So my mother said we had no choice, I had to leave my education and come and do some petty jobs to raise the family, and there were 5 people in the family. After a month or so, this lady who was just living down that street, she came to know that मुझे देखने लगी रेगुलरली. तो शी आस्क्ड मी कि तुम यहाँ क्या कर रहे हो भाई, तुम तो इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे थे, क्या हुआ? उसने बताया ऐसा हुआ. शी सेड अच्छा ठीक है. देन इवनिंग अराउंड 8-9 in the evening she came to their house and she said कि इसको वापस भेजो पढ़ने के लिए, और मेरे पास बैंक में 4 लाख रुपए हैं, so I will support this family. And this boy, his name was Ashutosh. आज तक I didn't bother to ask his name, I didn't know his name. He was and this lady, and she joined the family. They all live together now, and she said कि I will support, but इसको पढ़ने दो, ये बहुत important है. And fortunately he became engineer, he pursued further, and he became a good officer, and now I can say a very good human being also. He took such good care of her. So I felt that Nazma जो है ना, वो problem किसी और पे आई थी, but she grabbed that and she became a Mahatma Gandhi in her own way. She was a person who was not thrown with a challenge. She took that challenge upon herself and transformed handful of people, no doubt, but she transformed few lives just by her sheer selflessness, fearlessness, courage, conviction, whatever you say, all this put together. And I feel that I feel blessed that I meet so many Nazmas and so many people, thousands of people, just by virtue of being in my profession. Just by being a doctor across the table, I hear these stories and feel them and sense them, and I feel very, very humbled and empowered. So I feel that this thing, that प्रॉब्लम किसी पे आए और हम उसमें हीरो बन जाएं, वो एक चीज़ होती है. बट जब हमारे ऊपर प्रॉब्लम आती है, जैसे ये एक मैं छोटा सा वीडियो दिखाना चाहता हूँ. I don't know how many of you have seen this video of a 3-year-old boy who was born with one arm is not there, and he's born, and at 3 years age he's playing golf.
Was going to be born with one arm.
I spent a good amount of time focusing on what he won't be able to do.
Tommy Morrissey was born without most of his right arm. Now 3.5 years old, his parents were adamant from the start their son would live a normal life.
We wake up each day and hope that he doesn't see a limitation, because we don't.
Do you think that his hand-eye coordination developed at such a high level so quickly because he had to compensate for only having one arm?
The doctors told us that because he was born without a right hand, but he should be right-handed. His brain has to compensate in ways that yours or mine would not. They were right.
They handed him golf clubs just after his first birthday, and he never put them down.
I walked into his room and he had Marsha's iPad, and he was looking at it, and I said, "Tommy, what are you doing?" And he said, "Well, Daddy, I'm taking a golf lesson from Tiger Woods."
Almost 2 years later, a surprise meeting. This time, the real thing.
Do you know who that is?
Tiger Woods.
That's Tiger Woods! Come here, big guy. All right. How you doing, bud?
Good.
How'd you hit him over there?
Very good.
Did you?
Yeah.
You want to have a putting contest?
Yes.
You want to putt against me?
Yes.
I love it. All right, show me how it's done.
Like, what's this?
Okay.
Hole in one.
All right, buddy.
Let's see it again.
Hole in one.
Oh, I can't believe the control he has.
What was it like for Tommy to meet Tiger?
Thomas was pretty excited to see the guy he's been watching so much.
I was shocked that what he's able to do. It's amazing to see that it's his left hand that he's able to create that much power and hit that hard.
How far can you drive the ball?
Did you hit it 70 yards the other day?
I sleep with golf clubs.
You
I
do?
know that.
Hey, you know what? Actually, I did too when I was young. I used to sleep with my 7-iron.
Who did you meet yesterday?
Tiger Woods.
Is he pretty good or are you better?
Pretty good.
He's pretty good.
We'll go one-on-one. Okay, ready? From right here.
One.
Short. All right, your turn. Oh, man!
Almost
Well done.
one.
You don't want your children to hurt in their heart. But because of golf and these experiences, his heart's not going to hurt at all.
My dad always used to say that golf is a microcosm of life. You have to deal with so many different hurdles and things in order to succeed. And I think that watching him hit golf balls and seeing the adjustments he's had to make is only going to serve him in life. High five? All right, good stuff.
The best part of his experience over the last 3 months is he's changing the way kids think about children with disabilities. These unintended consequences of sharing our child's story is just beyond measure for us.
Want to watch me hit some golf balls?
Yeah.
But for now, all that matters to Tommy is being out on the course and hitting some balls with a friend.
Changes. And there's another story about twins in a womb talking to each other that now they're going to get birth. And one of them is saying ki it's going to be really exciting. I'm just waiting for this umbilical cord to be cut. There's so much of the world to be explored and so much to do. And the other one is saying, I'm feeling so secure. I don't want to get out because I don't know what will happen to my nutrition, my day-to-day life, my breathing and my this and that. And so this kind of reaction leads to what will happen finally. And as I said, that once it has happened, once cancer is touched, then there's no choice, there's no looking back, there's no way you can I would say, even surrender or think of, you need all the support, no doubt. But at the same time, you have to yourself strengthen yourself and do certain things. Now, as I said that I meet thousands of Mahatma Gandhis in this journey because of their power of when situation is thrown at them. And this is an amazing story of Randy Pausch, whether, I don't know how many of you have seen this, the last lecture. There's a lecture series in I think, MIT, where they invite their professors to deliver the last lecture. जैसे ultimate ज्ञान कहते हैं ना, वो ultimate ज्ञान के लिए बुलाते हैं कि आप अपने हमारे students को ज्ञान दो, that what you think is the sar of life, what is the experience of life. And they call this series the last lecture. This Randy Pausch happened to give this last lecture at the age of 42 because he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer with liver mets. And this actually he knew that he will not live beyond 6 months. And again, there's a small video. If you can play, Roman, I will request you. But meanwhile, just share these thoughts. That what happens, he says that I know I'm dying. There are only two ways. Either and he has a 18 months old one child.
Lecture. The title has a twist. 47-year-old Randy Pausch has fatal cancer, and it has spread.
The doctors told me 3 to 6 months of good health left. That was a month ago, so you can do the math.
A grim calculation, except this man does not do grim. I'm still trying to do one push-up in honor of your lecture.
I don't know how to not have fun, right? I'm dying and I'm having fun.
Tonight, one of the most extraordinary people we have ever met challenges you to see your life in a new way.
You say there is no evidence and you can't see, but can you see love? Can you see hope?
A father, a husband, a teacher, ready to take you on the journey of your life.
Here now, Diane Sawyer.
Good evening, and welcome to what we think is a truly special prime time. There is a famous story in the household of Randy Pausch, PhD, that his mother jokingly once said, "My son's a doctor, just not the kind who helps people." We suspect you'll have a different view after you spend time with him tonight. This man who was told he had 6 months to live and has turned every day since into a kind of celebration. He has written a book called The Last Lecture, and that's how we first heard of him. A lecture that found its way onto the internet entirely by accident. It was posted for a handful of people who couldn't be there the day he spoke. But what happened next was a wonder all its own. Who would have believed that out there in the vast clamor of the internet, those endless videos, all that noise, one earnest-looking professor standing at a podium could make 10 million people so far stop and listen.
Wait long enough and people will surprise and impress you.
The Last Lecture, an annual tradition at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, a speech on personal philosophy by a beloved professor, like Randy Pausch, famous for making his students believe in themselves no matter the obstacles in their way.
The brick walls are there for a reason. All right? The brick walls are not there to keep us out. The brick walls are there to give us a chance to show how badly we want something. Because the brick walls are there to stop the people who don't want it badly enough. They're there to stop the other people.
So your goals are possible if you get tough with yourself and face difficult truths. Professor Pausch was a scrawny kid in junior league football under a tough coach named Jim Graham.
There was one practice where he just rode me, all practice. Just, you're doing this wrong, go back and do it again, you owe me, you're doing push-ups after practice. And when it was all over, one of the other assistant coaches came over and said, "Yeah, Coach Graham rode you pretty hard, didn't he?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "That's a good thing." He said, "When you're screwing up and nobody's saying anything to you anymore, that means they gave up." And that's a lesson that stuck with me my whole life, is that when you see yourself doing something badly and nobody's bothering to tell you anymore, that's a very bad place to be. Your critics are your ones telling you they still love you and care.
For 90 minutes, he gives lessons about living.
We cannot change the cards we are dealt, just how we play the hand.
And about facing death.
In case there's anybody who wandered in and doesn't know the backstory, my dad always taught me when there's an elephant in the room, introduce them.
At the lecture, some of his friends know, but others are just learning, that he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. and it has spread.
If you look at my CAT scans, there are approximately 10 tumors in my liver, and the doctors told me 3 to 6 months of good health left. That was a month ago, so you can do the math. If I don't seem as depressed or morose as I should be, sorry to disappoint you. And I assure you, I am not in denial. And the other thing is, I'm in better shape than most of you. So anybody who wants to cry or pity me can come down and do a few of those, and then you may pity me.
So don't try to tell Randy Pausch not to love the life he has left.
Right? So my next piece of advice is, you just have to decide if you're a Tigger or you're an Eeyore. I think I'm clear where I stand on the great Tigger-Eeyore debate.
1 month after the lecture, October 2007, we decide to go to Pittsburgh for an interview with Dr. Pausch. We're in the library of his beloved Carnegie Mellon, where ostensibly he was a teacher of computer science, virtual reality, creating a whole program for the school with Professor Don Marinelli. But long before his illness, Professor...
What I feel that all of us, whether we go through cancer or any life-facing threat, we are heroes and Mahatma Gandhis for some of us, for a small group. And those people who loved and who are with you or who are touched by you, you are the inspiration. So for that, you should get all the energy, all the power, and keep doing what is the best you can do when the cancer strikes, because that is what they will remember. That is what they will carry forward. Whether you are there or not there, their lives will be impacted how you reacted in this situation. And this is very critical. So I always feel that there are only three ways one can react when cancer happens. Either cancer walks in front of you and dominates your life completely. So wherever you go, you are living in a shadow of cancer. Or you befriend cancer. You are friends with cancer. You are living in reality. Okay, you are there, I am there, but sometimes you are up and I am not feeling well. Sometimes I am up, I am going friends, I am going partying and doing everything what I want to do. And there's a third possibility, which is there because I also feel that cancer has amazing potential or power, because cancer kills human beings. So there's huge amount of energy hidden in cancer. If you dominate or control that energy and that becomes part of you, then you actually grow. It has a multiplier effect on your own personality, because then you are seen as a victor, you are seen as somebody who is inspiring people around you, and you affect many more lives just by that sheer ability to dominate that scene. And this is where I feel that one has to create an identity of oneself in your own image, and you have to perceive that, okay, others also have to see me like this. So your actions and reactions will keep evolving and changing to your point that you start dominating it actually in real life. And that is very much possible. So that is why I want to say that let us all work consciously to build that identity, to create that self-image, so that we are able to help the society at the larger picture. Thank you.
Thank you.